Hi, this is Andy Brown with Boomers Offshore. Today, Fran and I are in La Fortuna, which is the home city to Volcano Arenal, which, by the way, just happens to be over my right shoulder. We're here specifically to go ahead and do a video interview with a couple of friends of mine that I've been watching their videos online for the last couple of years. Michael Allen and his partner, D'Angelo. We're out at their house today in La Fortuna, and we're going to sit down and we're going to chat for a little bit about what their lives are like living in Costa Rica. This is kind of flipping the tables a little bit. Instead of them being behind the camera and doing all the work, now it's my turn, and I get to put them on the spot.
Hi, I'm Michael Allen.
And I'm D'Angelo.
From TravelCostaRicaNow.com. No. Sorry.
Guys, start off right now. Tell us a little bit about yourselves, quick backgrounder, who you are, and kind of what got you here.
Well, I think our story's kind of interesting. We came down here 8 years ago with totally different intentions of why we came down here.
Did the typical tourist thing, came down, saw Costa Rica, fell in love with it, wanted to move back. Ended up here within 6 months of our first trip down here, living here, and started up in a resort, managing a resort.
We became friends with somebody down here that ran a little resort, 10-room place here in La Fortuna. We became friends, and we talked and did emails and stuff. And we ended up purchasing part ownership in this hotel. So we came down here. We pretty much sold everything, like you do. And we came down here and tried to, we had a little bit of money, not a lot. We had to work. We weren't going to retire. We're not that age, and we didn't have the money. So we came down here and was in the hopes of manage a hotel.
Did you come here with any kind of hospitality background experience?
Zero, but we came from Las Vegas, which is the hospitality industry of the world, pretty much. So we've been around it. We know what people are expecting and what to do.
We were going to kind of be the market guys a little bit. We were going to help with more of the, kind of help market the place a little more. Work on the website and that kind of thing. It was only 10 rooms. It was nice, this beautiful little place actually. But we made every mistake that you could possibly make. We didn't do our homework. We didn't do checks and balances. This guy became our friend over time, so all our Costa Rica questions were to him.
Okay.
So we didn't go to other people's websites. We didn't check what he was saying because I thought he was a friend. It would be like, you talking to your brother or whatever, and why would you have to ask somebody else? Your brother knows or whatever. So we came down here within 3 months. We knew we made the biggest mistake of our lives, actually.
We lived through it, ate our losses, moved on from there, and didn't know what we were going to get into, and that's sort of how things snowballed and we got to where we're at now. It was just
we loved Costa Rica, so we didn't want to leave, and we had a little bit of money to try to figure something out. Mm-hmm. But we needed to figure something out. So we just kind of fell in on a very sideways way of this video stuff we do now.
Why did you pick this area?
We didn't. The area sort of picked us. We knew this guy who lived here, and he invited us to come to Costa Rica, invited us to see his resort, invited us to tour the country, and we just ended up buying into his resort and trying to. And
we bought some land as well,
and trying to come down here and make a living of this area. It wasn't that we saw all of Costa Rica and decided this was the best area. It just kind of.
This is where he was at. This is where the hotel was. So we liked it here, good enough. So, and we could really probably live anywhere. We're kind of those kind of people. Mm-hmm. You could really live pretty much anywhere.
Are there any areas within Costa Rica that you don't want to live?
I wouldn't live in San Jose or the area because to me, I would just stay in the States and go live in a city. But I'm not really a big fan of the beach, only because I've been on a million beaches and it just gets too hot to me. Not that it doesn't get hot here, but. I like the rainforest more, the rainforesty thing.
I like this area. I like the greenery around this area. San Jose, definitely wouldn't want to live there. And like you said, the beaches, I'm not really a big beach person. If I go to the beach, I'm not in the ocean or anything. And the northern part of Costa Rica, I know you guys live in the northern part, but it's a little too hot and dry for me. I like this area. It's nice and green.
I think people just make the mistake of not really going around the country because there is so many places, but they always get stuck in the same ones. It's always, when you ever mention this question, it's always the same places. Atenas, Gracia, just those certain cities always seem to
locate the gringos.
Seem to pop up.
Now, do you guys have your cedulars?
We do not. We are still perpetual tourists, so we leave every 90 days. We kind of see it as a forced vacation. We don't mind leaving. We
usually make a part, not a party of it, but we usually go with other friends, and we go and get the rum and the, you know,
have lunch, have a beer, just hang out, and then we all trek back.
We're back at 6 in the afternoon, so you know.
So you're doing 24-hour runs, literally one-day runs,
One-day runs.
lunch runs.
We come back the same day, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Which is
And-
illegal, right?
It's totally legal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's, correct me if I'm wrong, but is it really illegal, or is it because the way Costa Rica writes laws,
No, it's not illegal.
It's just not defined?
It's not illegal. That 3-day, the 72-hour thing, it only applies if you are bringing back taxable goods into the country. There is nothing wrong with it. You can definitely leave just for the day. It is totally legal. It's not even a loophole. You can definitely do it. We've been doing it for 8 years. One time in Pinas Blancas, we tried to like literally cross over and come back like within, I don't know, 5 minutes. And they said, no, you got to be gone for at least 2 hours. So we went to the duty free. I mean, you know how Costa Rica is very willy-nilly on what they say. That guy happened to say 2 hours. Like, he could have probably said 5 or whatever. But.
I've heard 6. I've heard 12.
And it's all kind of crap. So,
Right.
But you
Depends on who you're dealing with at the counter.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll ever apply for cedulars?
I won't.
Or
I
you
don't
see no
think
benefit
so.
to it, or I mean, it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, and it's a lot of paperwork, and it's a lot of time to try and just sit there and hope and wait and wait and wait until it comes in.
Our perfect world would be this, I think. Continue doing what we do, go around the country, you know, videotape, do things, and then, like, let's say, go to Nicaragua for 6 months and edit the videos and write the blogs and then come back. So I would like to have another residence somewhere else.
Well, they definitely want to see your outgoing ticket that you're leaving Costa Rica again within the 90 days. If you don't have that, then
they mess with you.
They mess with you. They force you to go somewhere to try and get a ticket to come back. If you try and say you're leaving before the 90 days, whether it's like 45 days or something, then that's when they stamp and write it in your passport that you're only stamped in the country for 45 days.
We do the easier. We do the easier border run, which is the Los Chiles, San Carlos run. That's
only
the
easier
most,
because it's closer to us.
and it's very low key there. You know, it doesn't get the traffic that Pinas Blancas does. So they do ask for the ticket. That's the only thing. But if you just show them something, they're good. But it's very low key there. It's not so stressful.
You got to go to the Costa Rican checkpoint border section, and then from there you jump on a boat for 45 minutes down a river where they normally would take you on the Caña Negro boat tour to see all that wildlife. And we go from Costa Rica checkpoint down the river to the Nicaragua checkpoint, and we get checked into Nicaragua, stay there, and then same thing on the way back.
We go over, and then the last boat leaves at 4. So we come back, and we're usually here by 6:30.
Horrible, horrible, horrible. Totally embarrassed to tell people how long we've lived here and don't know the language.
Do you find that a problem?
No.
Living in where we live in La Fortuna, absolutely not, because it's one of the top tourist destinations in the country, so many people speak English here. And with my Latin accent, they think I'm fluent, and they just start rambling on.
They think he's lying.
Yeah, they usually
lying.
think I'm Tico and that I'm lying, that I don't know Spanish. And
it bugs me, and people are pretty harsh. They're like, you've been down there too long. You should know the language. You should know the language. And I just want to say, how long have you been on your diet? You know to lose weight too, right? But it's hard. It's very frustrating. My ear's not good. And I know a million words. I can say things, but when they talk back to me, I hear blah, 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 blah.
Our thing is we came down here and we were with each other the whole time, so we spoke English to each other. And then when we went and had started a company and started doing this travel stuff, all our clientele, everybody we started talking to was in English again. So we didn't really, our business and daily life was not surrounded by Costa Ricans and talking with Spanish-speaking people. It was still focused with English-speaking people, and so that was a big hindrance as well.
Costa Rica likes to promote itself as one of the most gayest friendly Central American countries there are. It's exactly like this. It is don't ask, don't tell, and they don't care that you're gay. That's not the problem. They don't want to see it. They don't want to see anything remotely gay. If they see gay, now you're pushing it on them. So yes, if they mean, when they say they're gay friendly, they just mean that, yeah, two gay guys can stay at that hotel, but that doesn't mean they can frolic in the pool, together. We've been discriminated. I've been discriminated in La
Numerous
Fortuna
times.
about 5 or 6 times here. I've had police come up to me and said, "Wait, we got a call that you're being inappropriate." They're like the United States was back in probably the 50s and 60s. We have friends that think it's cool to have us as gay friends, but again, the biggest thing, they don't want to see it.
But that being said, there are a lot of gay people here. Not even just gay. There are a lot of straight guys that will fool around because it's just in their Latin culture that they fool around, or that they have their girlfriends on the side and they'll fool around with the guy. As long as their friends or family don't know about it or something, they just really don't care.
And the only thing, I'm sorry for too much information, but the only thing they don't like here, you just can't mention the word gay. They'll do gay, but just don't say it.
Okay.
You can't say it at the bar. I can buy this guy a drink and whatever, but I can't mention any words like that. So you can do whatever, but you just can't say it.
So suffice it to say that there are no quote-unquote gay clubs in this area.
Not in this area, there's not. No, the only area you're going to find that in is San Jose, and Manuel Antonio used to have a bunch of gay clubs.
There's a few.
There's a few still there, but those are probably the only two areas that are going to be more gay-friendly around the country.
Is the prejudice applied evenly to male couples and or female couples, or do they treat them differently?
Oh, I think female couples always get treated better. I mean, straight guys like to see two girls kissing or whatever, so they're treated much better, yeah.
And then the other thing in Central America, which is kind of interesting, they don't care if the man is very feminine, what you think of as a fruit, or over the top gay. They don't mind that because he's like 2 steps from a girl anyway. They're actually fine with that. They don't want to hear about a macho guy, a guy that looks like a regular normal guy. When he's gay, that bothers them. But they don't mind the girly gays. It's kind of interesting here. And Nicaragua's the exact same way. I've seen them in Granada, full makeup, full going down the street, the whole thing. And that's cool they're like that because they just consider them kind of girls. You want to probably keep it in your room, You don't really, you're coming down to another country, you kind of got to respect. When you're first down here, you almost feel like you want to, teach them. You want to be there. But, we're guests here, and it's not my place to kind of educate them on gay. They're going to have to do that themselves, I think. So I would probably say keep your gay to a minimum, and they'll be very gay friendly then. When we first started filming, we actually just went to some of the travel books and would look at the travel tips and see how we could apply them. So our first batches of videos had everything to do with just, renting a car down here, driving down, the things you would read in like a Frommer's or a Lonely Planet type of thing. We just made videos about that. So if there was a segment in the book in like a Frommer's talking about, malaria and dengue, do you need your shots to come down to Costa Rica? Just those basic questions that you see in a lot of the books. Do you need your shots? So we would make a video about it. And
6 months to a year after being here is when we started everything. So we were still new to the country. We were still traveling ourselves. We were still checking out the country, checking different areas out. So from there, we just were like, well, we're already checking an area out. Let's go ahead and videotape it. Let's tell people about this area that we're just now experiencing.
One of the things that I particularly like about your videos is that you've got a no-nonsense, no bullshit approach to a lot of your topics.
Yeah.
With that said, you've also more than likely stepped on a few toes and may have ticked off a few people. What happened? What were the ramifications? And how did things work out in the end?
Well, I would say we have about 3 videos that tend to get the most negative press, or the really bad comments, the death threats, that kind of thing. It's our driving video.
I've driven quite a bit of the world, actually, and I'm telling you, Ticos are some of the worst drivers on the planet.
Our prostitution video.
Although prostitution is legal, pimping is not.
And then that one about the Pura Vida, which is more of just a commentary.
Guys, I know I'm going to get some shit for this video, okay? It's a given. But anyway, I just want to let you know up front, I love Costa Rica. If I didn't love Costa Rica, I would not live in Costa Rica. If you don't like this video and you're going to comment, please come up with something just a little bit more original than, well, if you don't like it there, why don't you leave?
We get a lot of hate mail. It's sad to say, but we do. Anybody wants to say Costa Rica is a very gay-friendly country should come look at some of our hate mail, because a lot of it is geared towards us being gay, and a lot of bad comments people will leave on it because we are gay. Most people want us to sugarcoat Costa Rica and make it look so pristine and beautiful tropical country to come visit, and we don't sugarcoat it. We kind of just say how it is, so we get a lot of hate mail.
You've said a lot of things that would be construed as things that are anti to the real estate industry, and most of the gringos are...
Actually, now that you said that, yes, I have...
Most gringos do come down here wanting some sort of real estate license, or want to get into the real estate business because it's easier to sell to other gringos, and they do get mad at us because we'll say a certain area is not our cup of tea, and we'll tell why it's not, or they think that we're stepping on their toes now by saying bad about their area, or not saying a certain area is just not good for somebody wanting to move to that section.
We speak out a lot about people that have major websites that provide like a generic information about Costa Rica with the sole agenda of pushing real estate on them. So when you go to the website, it looks like a regular website with information, but
Travel information.
Yeah, but all it is to get you into the real estate. So yeah, they have the information, the generic stuff on there, but it really is all geared to land. And there's a lot of websites out there like that, and they get a little mad because they'll try to say, we're providing information like you are. We're not. No, we just do this on the side. No, you are set up to sell real estate, and I know it, and you know it, and they don't like us saying that, I guess. My biggest thing is I don't like the willy-nilly of Costa Rica. I like things, if you tell me how it's supposed to be, I'm fine with that. Kind of black and white. So if you tell me I can't do this because this is it, I'm fine. But the problem is, it's like going to the bank here. If there's 4 tellers and you have a serious question about banking in Costa Rica, you get 4 different answers. And that bothers me to know, because to me it causes stress. It's kind of like when we were talking about the border crossings. You go up there and it's not the same answer all the time. It is 50 days or 40 days, or there's no rhyme or reason for some of the things that they do and say here, and that causes me a lot of stress, actually. I still, to this day, when we do the border crossings, I still get a little stressed.
It's a lack of somewhat of, I don't want to say like professionalism or anything, but it's when you go to the lawyer's office and she's not there and she doesn't show up for 2 hours later or wants to reschedule. It's a very Porta Vida, so the Tico time and the excuse of Porta Vida all the time kind of is. It's not. That's one of my pet peeves on it.
Everyone's very cool here, and you gotta like that. I mean, most people that are from the States, we're always on schedules, running here and there, always in a hurry, gotta do this, gotta do that. We have our schedules. It's kind of nice to kind of take a step back and chill for a minute. I do like the simple life. I like the people. I like their mindset of kind of reeling us, gringos in about, man, chill out, dude. It'll be okay.
I like the other culture part of it. I mean, it's a whole new culture you're experiencing. The weather in our area is beautiful. Everything around us is green. I come from the desert, so back there everything's brown. Here it's totally different. It's lovely, great climate.
The diversity of the country too, for a country that basically the size of West Virginia, and you can do so much. I mean, the 750 miles of beaches. You have the rainforest. You have the animals. You can go to the city if you want. It's just there's a lot of places to get into. A lot of cool things here. It's like they have everything in like one little country. So. To me, that's kind of cool. You can just go anywhere, and it's different,
Do you see yourselves ever going back to the United States?
Not me.
No, not really. Not really care to go back to the States.
Never. I mean, you can never say never, but no, I can never. I'm not going back there. I think we're going to be rich, actually. You know, our things are doing pretty good. We've been working very, very hard for 5 years, but we live such low. You know, I mean, we don't ask for much, and we don't need much. So, if I can pay my rent, you know, we can get some food, travel around a bit. We're good. We're good.
Hey, I want to thank you guys so much for the time and effort that you spent today in talking to us, and I'm sure our paths are going to run across again.
Hey guys, I'm Michael Allen.
And I'm D'Angelo with TravelCostaRicaNow.com.
Peace, guys. Hope it helps.